Okay, so today I want to talk about art collecting and how really absolutely anyone can collect art. It's really intimidating when you go into a gallery or go to an opening or go to an artist studio and you ask the price, or you see the price tag on the wall and it says X amount, let's say $3,000. It's really intimidating. And most people think you have to be able to pull out a credit card or a check and write it out cash, write out, that's it. That's how you make an art, that's how you purchase artwork. And that really is not true. 99% of the time, the gallery, the artist, the representative, whoever, would be more than willing to work out a payment plan, whether they've done it before or not. Most people would rather make the sale than put the painting, the sculpture, the whatever back into storage. It's of no use to anyone there. So this is where something is something. And I'm lost again. All right, we're going to try. There's several contemporary instances where this has been so highly successful with people that they've ended up getting addicted to the art world and the art community and their involvement in it, and now have collections that are worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. The two instances that always stand out for me are the Vogels in New York, who collected artwork through the 60s, 70s, 80s, and into the 90s, and have since stopped because they're older now. So they've donated their collection to MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art, and I just saw some of it when it traveled around the country. Absolutely unbelievable artists that no one knew when they started, and now are world famous and changed history. The other couple that I know of is the Rebels. And this is a couple that started in New York and are now down in Miami, but travel the world buying artwork. And they have so much that they've built a museum. In both instances, the couples had low-wage paying jobs, but instead of investing in going to the movies or buying dinner, they decided to get into the art world, and they decided to entertain themselves actually in a different way. They would go from studio to studio in New York in some of the rundown sections where artists were camping out in storefronts, and they'd visit. And they would essentially cut a deal with the artist. Look, I know that you want, $100 for that, but I can only afford to pay you $5 a week. Both couples did this. So they would go back every week, every weekend was gallery night or studio night, and they'd hand over, here's your $5, here's your $5, and they would do that until the pieces were paid off, and then they'd start all over again. And eventually they were able to invest more and more money in the artwork and the artists, but they were a really important part of the community, both of them. And I bring this up because in my last video I talked about a clock I have here, and that's exactly what I did. I went to the gallery and I said, look, I want this clock rebuilt. My big Willy Wonka clock that I showed in my last video. I want this clock rebuilt, but I can't afford, I think it was $1,500. I can't. I put X amount of money down. I dropped off the original clock. I hated that. It was tacky. Dropped off the original clock. The artist took it. I made payments on getting it rebuilt until it was all paid off. And then I got the clock. I've actually done that a couple times. So I've got the clock that I want. I invested in an artist I absolutely adored. And it wasn't the money that was the most important part of the investment for him, I don't think. I think it was more the validation, because I really loved his work. I mean, I know of one clock he made that sold for $12,000. And for him, it was more you just appreciate what I do. And I absolutely loved everything he did. Unfortunately, he's gone now. But I'm lucky enough to have his clocks, some of his clocks, so I'm not looking back and going, I wish I had invested in his work. I wish I had talked to them. I don't have to, that doesn't have to be hanging over my head. There's no wishing. It just is. So that's what I would suggest, is if you like a piece of work, You see your price tag on it. You talk to the rep and they say it's $3,000. Don't go, oh, okay, thank you very much, and walk away. Say, what can we do? What down payment will hold the painting for me, and then this is all I can afford every month. What can we do? That's it. I'm going outside. It's sunny and there's birds and it's warm. So then I gotta come back and paint, because I started a portrait of Christopher Hitchens that I'm going to finish. I got paintings over there I got to work on, paintings over there. I've got submissions to do. There is work to be done. But first, there's sunshine. Ciao.